Tombstone, Arizona Territory, December 8, 1882. P.M. Tombstone's postmaster, Clem Hawley, was making his rounds through the mining district with the mail.
Ben Burnett. Didn't expect to see you out here. Don't tell me the Occidental's closing down in the afternoon.
No, it's nothing like that, Clem. Just thought a breath of clear air away from the saloon might do me some good.
Oh, don't believe I know your friend.
I'd like to have you meet him.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Tombstone Territory.
P.M., December 8, 1882. Clem Hawley's driverless team raced back to Tombstone.
Easy, baby.
Clem Hawley's team. Wonder what happened to him.
Where's Clem?
I don't know, Miss Hawley.
Clay Hollister and his deputy rode out to backtrack the postmaster's route. Ella Hawley insisted on driving the buckboard. Tombstone's Dr. Cunningham completed the group.
Ben couldn't have timed it any better.
Don't be worrying yourself, Alan. Clem probably stepped out of the wagon for a second and the team bolted.
That doesn't explain the blood on the seat.
Out of the mailbag, huh? Probably. Looks like something was dragged through here.
What is it?
I don't know yet, Miss Hawley. Keep her here.
Is he going to be all right, Doctor?
Alan, go back to the wagon.
You know Doc Cunningham's the best there is, ma'am.
Of course. Maybe I could lend a
He
hand.
knows what he's doing.
Maybe I
Jim's
could...
there if he needs any help. Now, do you know of anybody who might have held a grudge against Clem?
Oh, not even in Tombstone. Being postmaster just sort of kept him in the middle. They never even had to take sides.
Was there any money in the mail?
Oh, I helped Clem pack that bag myself. It was just regular mail. Why would anybody want to rob him?
I don't know, ma'am. Not yet.
Let him up to me.
Is he going to be all right, Doc?
I don't know. I got to dig for the bullet. Hey, touch it.
It's time. Bring the horse around the back.
Thank you, George.
Don't move and don't turn around. Keep your hands down. Act natural. And don't get any ideas. Where's the mine payroll? The one that's ready to go on the stage. Don't turn around. Now, where's that payroll?
It's in the safe.
You've got just 5 seconds to open it. Hurry it up.
I'm doing the best I can.
Keep your eyes on that safe if you want to live.
I wanna.
Staying in town, Pat. Don't be down. Be less suspicious like Ben says. How to look if we pull out the same day the payroll gets taken.
Hold up! Hold up! The payroll money! He got the payroll. He came and hit me on the head.
I'm getting out. Take it easy. Everything natural.
I'm all right, but get after him. Somebody.
What happened?
The payroll money. $15,000.
Take care of him. I'll go get Hollister. All right.
2:30 p.m. December 8. Tombstone was having a busy day. I rode toward the mining district to get Sheriff Hollister.
Harris! Clay, there's been a hold up at the stage depot. What? Yeah, the mine payroll, $15,000, about an hour after you left. What happened here?
Clem got himself shot. Bring him in.
Okay.
Jim!
I don't know, Mr. Hollister. Never saw his face. Wouldn't let me turn around. He saw to that.
Afraid you might recognize him. Means he could be local. You say he came in the back way?
Yep, and there was the $15,000. All wrapped up and waiting for him.
And it's the first time I haven't been with you till the stage came.
That's right.
Let's check outside.
Had to be somebody in town, huh?
Yeah, it looks that way. Whoever shot Clem Hawley was in on this too, I think. Two horses and a man waiting. Yeah, not very long. Look at this, Clay. Cracked left rear hoof. Jimmy, check the stable. All the horses on the street, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just rode in with Ella Hawley.
Clem come to yet?
No.
Harris, I don't think Clem was robbed at all. I think it was just a scheme to pull us out of town, using the old man as bait.
Pretty grim business, shooting a man in cold blood.
Yeah. Let's go see if we can give the doctor a hand. Clem's got to identify who shot him. How is he, Doc?
It's hard to say. I got the bullet of 45, but he's hemorrhaged a lot. He's still in a coma. He's an old man, Clay. He may never come around.
We got the money. Why can't we ride, Ben?
You ride when I say so. A few days it won't make any difference if the three of you push on. We'll split the money then, too.
The old man might talk, Ben. Then what'll happen to you two?
I'm going to forget you tried to divide us, Rig.
Didn't mean it that way, Ben. We're all in this together. It's just that we're all new to this thing, that's all.
I know that.
You might have a point, Ben. Maybe the old man will talk.
And why didn't you kill him?
A little nervous, I guess. Never done nothing like that before. Unarmed old man.
Maybe you don't want your share.
No, nothing like that.
All right, let's break it up.
The angel Gabriel himself couldn't talk.
Not with where that bullet hit him.
Ben, why can't we all ride?
Look, it took me 6 months to set up this deal. Right out today and Hollister will smell a rat.
I'd sure like to know what Hollis is up to, though. From what I hear, he's just sitting and waiting. For what?
Well, maybe one of the three you'd like to ask him.
Clay's deputy methodically checked Tombstone's corrals and livery stables. At the OK Corral, he made his discovery.
I know how you feel about Clem, Sheriff. We all do, but you're sitting around here and getting the payroll back.
What should I be doing, Ed? Leading a posse?
It'll be better than you're sitting around here.
Where do I pick up the trail? You gonna tell me?
Well, sorry, Clay. I didn't mean to be telling you your business.
It's all right.
Clay, found the horse with the broken shoe.
Where?
Down at the OK Corral. Belongs to Rig Quaid. You remember him. Drifted into town a couple of months ago. Hangs out at the Occidental.
Harris, do me a favor. Go down and stay with Clem. Let me know as soon as he can talk.
Okay.
Might wait and pays off sometime.
December 11th, 2 days after the robbery, Clay Hollister had a lead.
He's at the bar.
Greg, I want to talk to you.
Got some questions I want to ask you.
Who's stopping you?
In my office. Come on.
I got no business in your office.
Well, I think you have. You got a horse with a bad shoe, and that's my business right now.
I'm staying right here.
One way or another, you're going.
Look, I told you. Someone stole my horse. That's my story. You've got no right to hold me. You made no charge.
I got a big mistake, Rick. I know the robbery down at the depot is tied in with Clem's shooting. If he dies, the charge will be murder. Now what's your story?
I was at the Occidental. I came out. My horse was gone. Someone stole it.
And when'd you go to the depot?
What are you trying to do to me? I wasn't anywhere near the depot. I was over at the Occidental with Pat having it.
Pat who? Who?
I'm through talking, Sheriff.
All right, Jimmy, lock him. What do you think? A couple of days in jail will loosen him up. He's already said too much and he knows it. How is he?
You got a plumb center, Clay. Anything out there?
Nothing.
Clem's just got to talk. That's all we really got.
That and somebody named Pat. Where have you been? Picking up some insurance. Rig?
Ben was right. Rig would have talked. That makes it 5,000 apiece now.
Unless the old man pulls through.
Clay Hollister's waiting game was beginning to pay off. Some people were getting nervous.
Hi, Doc.
Oh, Clem.
The whole town's asking about old Clem. How is he?
Touch and go.
Oh, that's too bad. Clem won't talk again, I hear.
Too early to say.
I see. Well, I'll let his friends know how he's doing. See you, Doc.
Oh,
good.
Bye, Pat.
Thanks, Doc.
Yes, Clay?
Chances any better, Doc?
Frankly, Clay, I can't figure what's keeping him alive.
Hasn't said a word.
Nothing. Hasn't opened his eyes. Just hanging on the brink all day.
Doc.
Oh, another crisis. One of many. Clem's as tough as an old crow.
Listen, Doc, I better come back later. I want to talk to Mrs. Hawley when she's feeling up to it.
Okay.
I'm sorry to have to talk to you now, Mrs. Hawley, but it's...
Just don't know why. Why they'd shoot Clem. He never hurt anybody. Why him? After all that suffering.
Well, if it's any consolation to you, I'll get the man that did it.
There ought to be something I can do to help.
There is something.
Anything. I won't rest easy until whoever shot Clem pays the price. I'll do anything.
It's a long chance, Mrs. Hawley. But it is a chance.
Listen up. Clem Hawley's got an identification to make. You mean the old man pulled through?
He came to, if that's what you mean. He says he can identify who gunned him.
He can talk?
No, but there's nothing wrong with his eyesight, and I'm going to run every man in town past him if I have to.
Well, I don't know.
Now let's go for the doctor's office.
Well, that's a big idea.
Move out! All right, quiet down. You're all going to stand in that doorway one at a time, see what Clem has to say about you, then you can go.
Miss Holly, will you just lift Clem up a little bit so I can see better? Thank you. All right, you, give me your gun.
You!
Step into the doorway.
That the man, Clem? No, Sheriff.
Next man.
Step right in.
Take your time, Clem. You think about it. Is that the man? No, Sheriff.
Next man. You.
Take a careful look at this one, Clem. Careful.
He says...
Yes, Ella, go on.
Miss Holly, you all right?
We're fine, Sheriff, just fine.
Jim? Okay, out here, Clay. Clacy must have been one of them. But he ain't gonna do any more ambushing.
Clacy. All right, Pat. Step right in. You're not through yet. Tip your hat back a little so I can look at you better.
Well, Mrs. Hawley, what does Clem think?
Clem says that could be the man.
She don't know what she's talking about. I wasn't even there.
Clem says that could be the man.
She's crazy. He had Casey shoot the old man.
Shut up!
I didn't do no shooting. I was at the depot.
You fool are just guessing.
All right, Jimmy. Take our boy here over to the office where he can keep on talking. Get... I knew Pat had something to do with it, but you're right. I didn't know how much. Thanks, Mrs. Hawley.
Clem would have expected it of me.
Would have.
Clem died an hour ago.
Let's go. Go on.
Run over here and I'll fix you up.
That's the way it happened. In the town, too tough to die.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run foul of the law, it's a handy place to be. 'Cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be. Whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory.
Tombstone, Arizona Territory, June 4, 1885.
Can only cause you trouble.
When I make trouble, it's usually for the other fellow. You've been my partner long enough to know that, Monty.
Kirk, if you'd only use your head.
Walk like a man. Be one.
Until the lawless element is stamped out, there can be no legal trade in beef in Tombstone.
Why don't you print the truth once in a while?
Well, Stevens, we were just talking about you, weren't we, Charlie?
None of your sarcasm, Claiborne. Kirk's one of the biggest cattle brokers in town. When he talks, you listen.
The sheriff's been hounding hard-working cowboys, calling them rustlers. The people knew the facts about Hollister, instead of the lies you print in that filthy sheet.
Get out of my office.
Now do you promise to print the truth?
Well, now that I've always done.
All right, if you're going to print lies about me, I'll see that you don't print anything at all.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Tombstone Territory.
On that morning of June 4, 1885, it looked as if the publication of the epitaph was coming to a violent halt.
Monty, get the boys and tear the place apart.
I have a better way.
The only better way would be to hang Claiborne from the nearest pole.
Set up a headline, Harris. Cattle broker splattered by buckshot. Just what were you all planning?
To wreck the epitaph.
My partner and I were just explaining to Mr. Claiborne that we disagreed with his policies.
Oh, well, that's all right. So long as you do it peaceably.
You ain't so peaceable, running my best beef suppliers out of the territory.
All your beef suppliers are rustlers. Everybody in town knows that.
Because he tells them. You push people around, he turns you into a tin god for doing it.
Get out.
I'll get those two.
Trouble with you is you can't forget your past.
My past? At least I didn't spend all my time in all the saloons back east.
Kirk, you're going at this all wrong. I know all about fighting newspapers. I used to work for one.
You, a newspaper man?
You have to cripple everybody, don't you?
On your way to the Crystal Palace. Newspaper man?
Why do you put up with him?
He's not like you and me, Jed. He's got education.
If that's what education does to you, I'm glad I don't have none.
Well, they always told me that my editorials had holes in them.
I'd sure hate to see the doctor digging bullets out of you.
Well, now, you know, so would I.
Harris, why don't you stay out of the fight for a while? You know, I'm hurting him. Rounding up the rustlers and cutting off his beef supply.
He'll just bring in you rustlers, and he knows where to find them. He used to do plenty of rustling himself.
That's true, but it was never proven.
Well, there wasn't as much law then. Now he's respectable, powerful man with a lot of money. He wants control of this town.
He won't get it.
We got to fight him on a lot of different levels. This is important. And so's this. Never underestimate the power of public opinion or a newspaper's effect on it. Sometimes it goes off with a bigger bang than a gun.
You really don't know very much about me, do you, Kirk?
Oh, what's there to know, Monty? How many quarts a day you can put away?
I haven't shown this to anyone for years.
Montague Davis. So you did work on a newspaper?
Managing editor of the Baltimore Observer.
How long?
Nearly 2 years.
What happened?
Well,
never mind, you don't have to tell me.
After Baltimore, I tried Chicago. Then I sort of lost interest. That's when I started to speculate in the cattle market.
Lucky thing for both of us.
Kirk, I want to get back into the newspaper business.
What? Oh, we got the sweetest setup in the whole world. Get rid of the sheriff and the epitaph, we'll run the town.
The politicians back east have a rule. Don't fight a newspaper unless you own a newspaper. You can own one, Kirk.
Newspaper?
Sure. And I can run it for you. You can control public opinion, have anything you want. Get rid of Hollister, even become mayor.
How come after all these years you got the itch again?
Each of us has to try to be a man in his own way. If you say so, Kirk, I'll start ordering the stuff. We'll call the paper the Bugle. It'll sound taps for the epitaph and the sheriff.
Maybe.
Well, we got a sign. We're in business.
Finest printing equipment money can buy, right, Monty? Take a look.
I've seen them come and go, but only the epitaph stays in business.
Not this time, mister.
Good morning.
Oh, wait till you read the Bugle, Claiborne.
Oh, I don't mind competition. I only hope your paper has more integrity than your catalog.
Come and get the first issue of the Bugle this afternoon. Free with these handbills. Compliments of Kirk Stevens.
You know there's no shooting in the town limits. Give me a gun.
You'll have to get it. Folks, listen.
You'll be all right in a little while.
It says the sheriff just come up and pistol whipped poor Jed. Doesn't sound right. I know Clay Hollister.
Yeah? How well do you know him?
How well? I know that if Jeb was shooting up the town, the sheriff was within his right to disarm him.
Read the rest of the story. It says that all Jeb Crowley was doing was shooting off blanks.
Oh?
Look at the editorial.
The Bugle believes the one newspaper town does not get all the facts. The epitaph has been suppressing much news. Now Tombstone will know the whole truth. And you got a point there. The epitaph's been doing real good. But if we had two newspapers, I suppose they could keep tabs on one another.
I'd like to sell you an ad in the next issue of the Bugle.
Well, I'm spending all I can afford now on the epitaph.
Well, you're paying $10 for your ad in the epitaph. I'll give you the same space for $7.
Yeah? Well, I'll give you a try.
You're a lawman by election only, and that newspaper can turn public opinion against you.
Clay, this is Todd Murphy. Met him up at the OK Corral. He needs some help.
What kind of help?
Had 20 head of cattle stolen.
How'd that happen?
I was driving some strays to catch up with the main bunch. 2 men jumped me, knocked me cold. When I woke up, no cattle.
Where was it?
About 5-6 miles out of town.
You show us, huh?
The afternoon of June 14. 8 miles north of town, Clay Hollister spotted the stolen herd. And the rustlers spotted him.
Sheriff, he's hit! Sheriff!
Here, Jimmy. Let me see that shoulder.
Is he hurt bad?
Painful. Bullet went clear through. Jimmy, if we catch your horse, you think you can make it back to town alone?
Sure.
How far north do you figure the main herd is?
About a couple hours ride.
I better ride along with you, make sure those boys don't try again. Come on, old buddy.
Can't you shoot straight? Like that. Go on.
Well, the sheriff and the other guy drove the herd off. We figured it didn't pay to follow.
You were right. You can't fight Hollister with 6 guns.
We'll get him.
Nobody saw where the cattle went but you?
That's right. The deputy rode back towards town.
You had the ownership papers with you to prove you were in rightful possession of the cattle.
We worked the way Kirk taught us to.
We can turn this against Hollister.
The only thing I want to turn against Hollister is a gun.
Kirk, if you'll only have a little patience.
Stick around, boys. I may have a job for you.
I know Clay Hollister couldn't be up to anything, but just the same, why was he so anxious to get rid of Jim? Where's the herd now? Excuse me. It's up north, if you care to look. Clay, no offense. This was just about the rustling and...
And what?
Nothing, Clay. Nothing.
Gentlemen, I read your little story. So did everybody else in town. Our circulation's improving every day.
You say these rightful owners were deprived of their cattle?
That's what they told us. They showed us papers to prove it.
In other words, you're accusing me of rustling. Rightful owners, where do you suppose I can find them?
How do we know?
Well, you talked to them. It says so right here.
They left town. They said they were afraid you were going to kill them.
You got all the answers, haven't you? When you lie real good. Watch that gun here.
Kirk. Hollister, when are you going to learn? You know, you just can't walk in here and threaten honest citizens. What are the people going to think when they read about it?
If it weren't for you, he'd be lying dead right there.
We're killing him with words.
Seen this?
Mm-hmm. I'll say this. Somebody over there knows how to put out a paper.
Harris, when are you going to lower your subscription rates to match those of the Bugles?
Wish I could. It's impossible. Maybe they've discovered a new law of economics. How to show a profit while operating at under cost.
Well, it seems to me like one man should be able to put out a newspaper just as cheap as another.
Kirk Stevens is paying for the losses of the Bugle out of his cattle proceeds.
Maybe Stevens is just a good businessman. Anyway, you can't expect us to pay extra for the epitaph when the Bugle's just as good. And Maybe a little more impartial.
Impartial? How do you like that?
Things are getting rougher here.
Yeah.
Come in.
What do you want to see me about?
Got a piece of news for you. Not for publication. Biggest deal I've ever made. 5,000 head are being brought across the border. I made arrangements to buy them for $1 a head.
I'll get in touch with McHenry in Chicago. Probably be able to get $10 a head for him.
Well, there's only one trouble. McHenry never buys stolen cattle.
Our customers never know where the beef comes from.
Well, suppose the epitaph started digging into the deal. You got to put them out of circulation. Now.
I wish we could. We're beating them, but it's going to take time.
We've got no time.
Kirk, I hope you're not going to do anything that's going to get us into trouble.
Look, we own the Bugle, don't we? Whatever happens to the epitaph, we report in our own way. I'll be down later on to the newspaper to give you the story.
All right, Kirk.
Well, that's it, Fred. Let's get out of paper, even if we have lost half our customers.
Craig! They hit Fred!
June 20, 1885. Fred's body was moved to the undertaking parlor. Unable to catch up with the gunman, Clay Hollister returned to find that our presses had been badly damaged.
Hear the news? No epitaph today.
Sure, I heard about it. I've already written it up.
Well, this is good. You make it sound like Hollister doesn't want to catch the killers, may even be behind the shooting.
It wasn't easy. I'm not sure you should have done it.
Put the epitaph out of business, didn't I?
By killing an innocent man.
I was after Clybourne. Since when do you care about killing?
I'm only warning you for your own sake, Kirk. Don't take any more chances.
Somehow I liked you better when you were spending your afternoons at the Crystal Palace.
I'm trying to make a big man out of you, Kirk. Please don't spoil it.
First you make a man out of yourself.
Clay, you've just got to face up to what people are saying.
Yeah, I know what people are saying. The thing that amazes me, Harris, is how they can take the truth and twist it in so many different ways.
You just got to make an arrest.
Well, I gotta have the right man first.
Kirk Stevens or Monty Davis.
I know they're behind it, but they didn't pull any triggers.
Any idea who did?
Yeah. I thought I recognized Jeb Crowley. I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure. But the fact that he's been out of town ever since is... Found the herd, Clay. 5,000 head.
What herd?
Well, I got a wire from the Mexican border saying a big herd had been driven across, and they wanted me to follow up. Where were they headed?
Kirk Stevens stockyards.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I managed to talk to a couple of the cowpokes.
5,000 head. This could be a break for us.
June 22, 1885. Broker Kirk Stevens' stockyards were bulging with beef.
How are you, Kirk?
Jeb.
What's he doing here?
I'll never handle a big deal yet without old Jeb, right, Jeb?
Right, boss. Been together a long time.
Well, we got work to do.
I think you're asking for trouble. Suppose the sheriff connects him with the shooting.
Old Jeb can take care of himself.
I think you're taking Hollister too lightly.
I'm not the one that's taking him light. You think he can be beaten with words? I don't.
Jeb. Where you been the last couple of days?
Driving cattle?
My deputy scouted this herd. You weren't with him. What about the other two, Jim?
Them neither. He's just got bad eyes.
What do you think of my eyesight? I spotted you right after Fred was murdered.
You're just making wild guesses.
Let's go down to my office. We can talk better there.
We're not going nowhere.
I wouldn't. He's still alive.
Get a doctor, Monty. If you didn't have that gun pointed at me, I'd kill you right now.
I'm gonna leave Jeb in your custody. I'm not worried about you going too far. You two. You! Come on.
Jeb better not die.
Noon, June 22. We worked desperately to get the press running so the epitaph could tell the true story of the shooting at the stockyards. The Bugle hit the streets first.
And so, people of Tombstone, how many more shootings will we let our gunslinging sheriff get away with? What do you think?
I think Hollister's got some questions to answer.
We got him this time. The sheriff's finished.
So's Jeb.
What are you going to do?
He was one of my boys.
The people will take care of Hollister. They'll throw him out of office. Kirk, you go after Hollister now and you're going to ruin everything. Everything the Bugle and I have done for you.
When I found you in Chicago, you were ready for the ash heap. Without me, you're nothing.
Don't do anything stupid, Kirk. Use your head.
I like my hands better.
Hollister? We want to talk to you.
All right, go ahead. The shooting of Jeb Crowley is being investigated by the coroner.
Yeah, that's the way it ought to be.
Will you step aside till after the investigation?
What kind of an investigation will that be? There are no witnesses except Kirk Stevens' men and Clay's deputy.
Sheriff, will you turn in your star while we look into this?
Hollister, I want you.
You heard what the man said.
You killed one of my boys.
That's right. He drew on me.
And you're a liar.
He's dead.
Any doubts who shot first?
Kirk did. I wonder how many men he's killed with that trick. Guess we won't need the investigation, Clay.
And he wanted to own the town.
Now all he's got is a piece of Boot Hill.
guess the Bugle won't be out tomorrow.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory.
Tombstone, Arizona Territory, July 29, 1886.
Hello, can I help you?
You Miss Nellie Cashman?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm a friend of Bill Doolin's, and he told me his wife Katie was staying here. I got a message for her.
Well, Bill can tell her himself. He'll be in on the 1 o'clock stage in just a few minutes.
Well, that's part of the message, ma'am. Bill ain't gonna be on it.
Why? Has something happened?
No, there's just a little delay. He'll be in on a later stage.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll tell her.
Well, the rest of the message is kind of personal, ma'am, and Bill, he wanted me to tell her that part of it myself, personally.
It's number 7, just down the hall. Harris, you were eavesdropping.
Mm-hmm.
For the news, of course.
Oh, of course.
Well, at least you're honest. Bill. You're not Bill.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Tombstone territory.
Early afternoon, July 29, 1886. Hello, Clay.
Oh, Harris. What can I do for the mighty epitaph today?
Well, I'm doing a story on Bill Doolin. Thought you might like to make a statement for me.
All right. Bill Doolin's welcome.
That all?
That's it.
Well, I hope you can spare it. Look, you're the one who sent him off to jail, Clay.
Well, look, Harris, I've got nothing against Bill. He's done his 5 years, he's clean, and he's welcome. When I see him, I'll let him know. But if you're really hurting for a story, why don't you talk to Mr. Willison?
Mr. Willison?
He's the federal attorney who's going to prosecute Ab Clinton for murder.
Oh, I've done that story to death, Clay. Everything about it, including the fact that you're the chief witness against Ab. It's old stuff. No offense to you, Mr. Willison.
What's the matter, Harris? Things too dull for you? Me, I like 'em that way.
Well, there's the 1 o'clock stage. Come on!
Mrs. Doolin here?
Well, you must be Bill Doolin. Hello, I'm so glad to know you. Katie's spoken of you so often.
Is she here?
Well, no, she isn't. I think she left with that friend of yours, the man who brought the message that you wouldn't be on the 1 o'clock stage.
I was on the stage and I sent no message.
Hey, Doolin. You better come with me, Doolin.
What do you want?
Ain't nothing I want. If you want to see your wife again, you better come with me.
That afternoon, Bill Doolin was taken to a shack, a short ride from Tombstone.
So you're Doolin.
That's right.
We've got your wife. Oh, she's safe.
Who are you?
Clinton is the name. This is my boy Joe. I've got another boy named Ab. He's in jail in Tombstone.
I don't see as how this has anything to do with me.
My boy Ab is up on a murder charge. They say he killed a man. Oh, he did it. But he isn't going to hang. They've only got one witness, the sheriff. And if he doesn't get to court, they've got no case. I want you to see that the sheriff doesn't testify.
I'm not doing your dirty work.
Maybe I didn't make it clear. It'll be your wife or the sheriff, one or the other.
Why me? Why not him?
This is a job for a man, not a boy.
What do you mean? I can take care of that sheriff.
Have you seen those graves out on Boot Hill? A lot of them are filled with men that thought they were better than the sheriff.
Well, I don't care nothing about that.
You'll do as I say. You were right, Mr. Doolin. A man ought to do his dirty work himself, but I've got one boy up for murder and the other itching for a kill. If this isn't done right, they'll both be dead. Killed or hanged. I don't like what I'm doing, but I see no other way. And when this is done, I'm going to take my boys back home to Chicago. I don't like it, Doolin, but this is the way it's got to be.
Where is Katie?
Put away. Safe. You get the sheriff. You'll get her back.
I got no reason to kill Hollister.
Sent your way, didn't he? You came back to get him. Nobody's going to blame you if it's a fair draw. It's got to be the way I say. Your wife or the sheriff.
You want it done?
Now.
If anything happens to Katie, I'll get you. And him.
Doolin had his orders. In Tombstone, the grim stage was set.
Hi, Bill. What's Doolin up to?
Bill, welcome back to Tombstone. Hollister, you're a crawbelly coward. Hiding behind a badge. You gonna take that? Or are you gonna be man enough to try to do something about it?
Well, what's eating on you, Bill?
Draw your gun, Hollister.
Oh, now, hold on.
Make your play. No. You're not pushing me into a gunfight.
Bill, no! You've got to think of Katie. This isn't going to do any good.
You've got 24 hours to get out of Tombstone. You ever see a quicker draw than that?
The morning of July 30. The epitaph had already gone to press. Bill Doolin is welcome in Tombstone, says Sheriff Hollister. Makes a fine story, doesn't it? You welcome a gunman, and he turns around and tries to kill you. The town's concerned. I think you ought to make a statement.
I already made one. It still stands.
Are you serious?
I am.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't, Harris, and that's what worries me. Why does Bill Doolin want to kill me?
I don't know. The point is he does. The other point is, what are you going to do about it?
Try to find out why.
The people are scared, Clay, and I don't blame them. They need reassurance from you.
Such as what?
Such as what? A man embittered by 5 years in prison tries to kill you. A sensible man would simply put him in jail where he belongs.
Well, I'll do that if it's necessary, but I'm not ready yet. Something about this just doesn't add up.
You're a stubborn mule.
Mule, huh? Print that and I'll sue you for libel.
I might just win.
When I told Bill about the stranger, all he said was that he had never sent a message to Katie.
Well, do you know who the stranger was?
No, I never saw him before in my life. And the funny thing is that Katie never came to pick any clothes up.
Did Katie talk much about Bill?
All the time.
Did you get the impression that he was bitter?
No. As a matter of fact, she showed me one of his letters once. In it, he said how glad he was that the old life was over with and how happy he was to be starting a new one.
Yeah, but to the best of your knowledge, did he hold a grudge against me?
No. Well, Katie never said anything, but Clay, I'm sure he didn't.
He said that they had plans for a new life. Do you know what they were?
Katie had bought a few acres out by Willow Creek. When Bill came back, he was going to farm it and eventually get a few head of cattle. There was nothing on that property but a little old shack.
Thanks for all the help.
Be careful, Clay. Bill is fast.
Yeah, we know that, don't we?
From a storage room above Allen Street, the Clintons kept a close check on Clay Hollister.
Take it easy.
Sheriff ain't packing his gun. How come?
That way maybe he thinks Doolin won't shoot him.
Hollister seems about to visit Doolin. You circle around, beat him there.
I got something else to do.
Get moving. Get at it. Hello, Bill. I've come for an explanation.
You got till sunset to get out of town.
What are you trying to prove?
The deadline's sunset.
Look, I rode out here without a gun because
you knew I wouldn't shoot a man that was unarmed.
Because I want you to see that we haven't got any differences. Why do you want to shoot me?
I got no choice. It's Katie's life or yours. I got no choice.
Noon, July 30, 1886. The sheriff's authority had been challenged. Fear began to snake its way through the people of Tombstone. If
If Clay Hollister couldn't stop the threat of a gunman, what chance did the people have? Things are out of hand, Clay. You've got no choice. You've got to jail Doolin. You've just got to. Living 5 years with a grudge must have twisted his mind.
Oh, he's not twisted, Harris. You don't understand. He said something about my life or Katie's.
Well, I'm trying to understand. I'm especially trying to understand you.
Hello, Clay. Did you want to see me?
Yeah. Come on.
Hello, Harris.
That stranger that came to see Katie, did he look like a Clinton?
Well, I don't know the Clintons.
What about you, Harris? Could that have been Ab's brother?
Well, he didn't look like Ab.
I think there was a brother.
Wait a minute. It seems to me...
Seems to you what?
That Ab Clinton threw a big party, a sort of a family reunion. Sure he did. 3 years ago. Even had a picture taken at Ebel's studio on Tough Nut Street. I'm going to check the epitaph file.
We'll meet you at Ebel's.
You got to excuse me, Sheriff, but it's been almost 3 years. These files get sloppy.
The picture, Sam.
Man, you'd think it was a matter of life and death.
It is. The picture.
There it is. The Clinton party.
That's the man who brought the message to Katie.
Name is Joseph Clinton.
Here it is. I found it. Present at the party honoring Ab Clinton was his brother Joseph, who hails from Phoenix. Also present was his father William Clinton, who came all the way from Chicago, where he figures prominently on the wheat exchange in that city.
Yeah, that's old man Clinton.
The Clintons have Katie.
You'd better arrest the father and Joe. Start a posse searching.
No, by the time you got to Katie, she'd be dead. The Clintons have you very neatly trapped.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to have another talk with Doolin.
Look, I'm a friend of Katie's. Maybe I...
No.
Oh, what about me? I'll go. But what'll I say to Doolin?
We'll have to figure that out.
I tried to tell him. He wouldn't listen.
I like Bill.
I'll try again.
Whiskey.
Joe has Katie in a room looking down on the street. If you don't get Hollister, she'll never leave that room. If you kill him, get on your horse and ride out to the shack. Half an hour later, we'll put Katie on a horse and send her after you. Let's go.
As soon as I finish my drink.
What were you talking about?
He tried to sell me a subscription to the epitaph.
The afternoon of July 30, 1886. 24 hours had passed. It was obvious Clay Hollister was not leaving Tombstone.
Did you speak to Bill?
I talked to him, but I don't know what he'll do.
You can't gun a sheriff and get away with it, Bill.
Draw.
You got no reason.
Draw!
Now you just keep your mouth shut and you'll see your husband.
Here, put him on the table. Take this one. Somebody go and get a doctor, quickly. Thank you very much. We can manage now.
Boy, he is fast.
I'm glad he listened and missed.
Yeah.
Hey, Hollister, do you mean to say that you planned this whole thing with Bill Doolin?
Clay.
Well, it looks that way.
Clay, they've got Katie upstairs above the barber shop.
It's my part of the deal.
Katie?
To see me, Clay?
Yeah, Billy, I want you to sign a complaint.
Against who?
Father of the Clinton boys. Walker, bring in Mr. Clinton.
What happens to the old man now?
Conspiracy to commit murder, kidnapping, a life sentence for sure. Take off your hat. Can you identify him as the man who plotted the whole thing?
I've been to jail. I can't be responsible for putting a man behind bars, no matter what he's trying to do to me.
Maybe it doesn't matter. He's got a conscience.
Old man Clinton went home without his sons. Tombstone never saw him again.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be. Whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be. 'Cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be. Whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory.
Tombstone, Arizona Territory, June 18, 1885.
I don't want any trouble. So just sit easy. You won't get hurt.
If this is a holdup, you're in for a big disappointment.
A few minutes of your time. That's all I want.
Considering the circumstances, I guess I'm in no position to refuse. Maybe you better sit down.
All the best people are wearing them these days. It's the latest fashion at the Yuma prison.
Vince Harper.
Changed some. Not for the better. Lost a few pounds. 5 years of my life. And a lot of faith in humanity.
Why'd you come to me, Vince?
You've got to help me. I didn't kill Frank Carney.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Tombstone Territory.
The morning of June 19, 1885.
Sheriff Hollister?
That's right.
I'm Dan Kirby, captain of the prison guard at Yuma.
Oh, good to meet you, Kirby. You, strayed off your stamping ground, haven't you?
If you're saying I'd rather be home eating breakfast, you're right. Ed and me's been in the saddle for 10 hours.
Well, I don't guess this is a social call, then.
We're hunting one of your former citizens, Vince Harper.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Murdered a man named Frank Carney about 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember. That was just before I got here. He got a life sentence, didn't he?
The jailbird got tired of being locked up. Broke out 4 days ago.
And you think he might be in this area?
Tracked him to Tucson. He was headed this way.
Well, maybe there's some truth in that old story about a killer always returning to the scene of his crime.
I don't know about that. But I'll catch up with him. You can bet on it.
You sound pretty sure of yourself.
I ain't lost a man so far. Some run fast, some run slow. But I always catch up with them. One way or another, they all go back to Yuma.
What's that supposed to mean?
The prison gives me $50 for every prisoner I bring back alive. If they resist and I have to kill them, I get an extra 50 for my trouble. You'd be surprised how many men would rather resist than go back to a nice, safe cell.
Well, from what I've heard of your little jail, I can't blame them.
They've broken the law, and that means they've got to pay for it.
I'll keep an eye out for Harper.
Telegraph me. I'll be checking the border area around Naco.
Be glad to.
Appreciate your cooperation, Sheriff. Let's get moving, Ed.
Morning, Harris.
Oh, Clay.
Kind of early in the day for you to have your nose stuck in such a big book, isn't it?
These are the court records of the Vince Harper trial.
Yeah, I know. I was just over to the courthouse looking for them. Seth Adams told me you'd borrowed them.
Yeah, well, I wanted to brush up on the case a little. His escape is news.
How'd you hear about that so fast?
Well, I've got my sources, too. I never did believe Harper was guilty. The more I study these court records, the more I'm sure of it.
Well, the judge and jury disagreed with you.
Well, mistakes have been made before. Any particular reason you want to see those, Clay?
Yeah, there's a fellow by the name of Dan Kirby. He's captain of the Yuma Guards here looking for him.
Oh, what happens if you find him?
I'll turn him over to Kirby. Thought these records might help me locate him. Find out who his friends were.
Well, Vince had a lot of friends. He was a well-liked man.
Until he started drinking. That made him belligerent, aggressive.
Oh, that's true.
Got him into a lot of fights.
Well, in my opinion, that still doesn't add up to murder.
Well, I don't know much about the trial. What was the murder all about?
A fight. He and his partner had a fight over the Oriental. Had to be separated.
Yeah, it says here that later on the Dickersons found Harper standing over Kearney's body with a gun in his hand.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Oh, now look, Harris, you know better than I do. You can go back and check the records of any trial and find reason to believe a man's guilty or innocent. But this one, I don't know.
You ever seen the inside of Yuma prison, Clay?
No.
A row of black caves, complete with iron doors and chains. Must be bad enough for a guilty man. But for an innocent one.
Well, I'm willing to give anybody the benefit of the doubt. This time I agree with the verdict.
All the evidence didn't come out at the trial, Clay. There was a missing witness. A dance hall girl named Laura Coleman. She could prove that Harper didn't kill Kearney. He couldn't have. She had his gun. Harper gave her his gun.
Where'd you get that information?
I could have gotten it out of there.
Oh, Mr. Clyburn. Something I can do for you?
I need a little information. Do you remember a girl named Laura Coleman? Used to work here about 5 years ago.
Nope, can't say that I do. Walton High may be able to help you, though.
Laura Coleman? Sure, I remember her. Pretty girl, as I recall. Left town, several years ago.
Do you know where she went?
No.
Hard telling. A girl like that don't generally leave a forwarding address.
No, I guess not.
Oh, that guard from Yuma was in. Any news yet on the whereabouts of Harper, Mr. Clyburn?
No. Seems to be quite a mystery, doesn't it?
Don't imagine it can happen quick enough for Walton Howie. It was mainly their testimony that convicted him.
A man under oath's got to speak the truth, you know. Howie and me just did what we had to. We found him standing over the body with a gun in his hand.
What I don't understand is why he came back here in the first place.
Hard to say. Seems to me if he was guilty, this would be the last place he'd show up.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Just a thought.
Well, Harper don't scare me none. Would me. 5 years in prison can warp a man's thinking. No telling what he has on his mind.
Could be he escaped prison to get revenge. Seems to me the fight started over a poker game. Do you remember who else besides Harper was in the game with Kearney the night of the murder?
Oh, let's see. There was Lou Knowlton, Mike Craig, and Howie and Walt. Yeah, Walt was one of the big losers.
I guess it was kind of lucky Vince Harper got caught so quick. Otherwise, you two might have had some tall explaining to do.
You got a big mouth, editor. If you don't keep it closed, I'll earmark you. Just like one of my steers.
Now, you don't want to get into any more trouble.
What do you mean, more trouble?
Give me a bottle of whiskey.
Yes, sir.
Oh, put it in the sack, will you?
Anything you say, Mr. Clyburn.
Good day, gentlemen.
Oh, Mr. Clyburn. I appreciate your business.
The night of June 19, 1885.
I was a fool to come back. Should have headed for Mexico.
And remained a fugitive for the rest of your life.
I'll die before I go back to Yuma. I'm not going back.
With that new information you've given me about Laura Coleman, we got something to work on.
I know I gave her the gun. I know it!
I think you've had enough for tonight, Vince.
Not near enough.
Look, Vince, I'm trying to help you.
It's too late. 5 years too late. I should have thought about Laura at the time of the trial.
Well, if you hadn't been drinking so heavily the night of the murder, you'd have remembered what happened. Seems to me you'd have learned a lesson. Now, that's enough for tonight.
Now, wait a minute, Harris.
You wait a minute.
Nobody tells me.
It's a dangerous thing I'm trying to do for you. You came to me for help, and I think you're innocent. But don't go giving me a bad time.
Sorry. I guess that got me into enough trouble. But I needed it tonight, Harris. After Yuma, I needed it.
In here, quick. I'll be right with you.
Oh, Harris.
Well, hey, glad you dropped by. Come on in.
Thanks. Well, what's the matter? Business so bad that you've taken to drink?
Is there anything in particular you want to see me about, Clay?
Yeah, I wanted to get some more information about that missing witness, Laura. All right, Harris, what's going on?
Well,
now stop playing around and tell me the truth.
I have nothing to tell you, Clay.
Well, let's talk about Vince Harper.
All right, what do you want to know?
He hasn't been found yet. I got an idea that somebody is shielding him. No matter what the reason, that's still harboring a criminal.
Clay, we've known each other a long time. Long enough to trust each other.
Yeah, I thought so, too. Looks like I was wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong about Harper. Just this once, as a favor to me, forget what you know.
I'm sorry you asked that.
I'll be personally responsible. Just give me a little time to uncover some facts.
Where is he, Harris?
Clay, he's innocent. I know he is. Give me just 1 day to find out.
You've turned up some new evidence?
Yes, I think I have. And if I can find Laura Coleman, she can prove that Harper didn't kill Carney.
It's kind of late in the day to be pulling witnesses out of the hat, isn't it?
Vince was drunk that night. At the trial, he couldn't remember what happened. But he knows now. He knows he couldn't have killed Carney because he gave Laura Coleman his gun. Give me just a little time to find
I'm sorry, Harris. I've got a job to do.
Well, I've got a job to do, too. A newspaper has a duty to fight injustice and stand up for people who have no one else to turn to. Vince will die before he goes back to Yuma prison. Give me 1 day. 1 day to find out what happened to that girl. Where is Dan Kirby?
He's in Naco.
But it'll take 24 hours for you to notify him and for him to get back. Give me those 24 hours, Clay. I'll vouch for Vince. I give you my word.
You better be right, Harris.
During the next 24 hours, I tried desperately to get a line on Laura Coleman. I questioned a number of the townspeople, but nobody knew of her whereabouts. She seemed to have vanished. The night of June 20, 1885. The 24 hours had passed. Come in.
Time's up, Harris. I've got to take him into custody.
Clay, give me just a little more time.
We made a bargain, remember?
Vince? Vince?
All right, where is he?
I don't know. He can't have gone far. I was talking with him just a few
Well, if
minutes
he
ago.
gets away, I'm going to have to bring charges against you.
You don't think I planned this, do you?
Did you?
June 21, 1885. Dan Kirby had returned to Tombstone to pick up his prisoner.
A convicted killer, and you let him walk the streets. What kind of a lawman are you?
You've gone too far, Hollister. People won't stand still for this. You can bet on it.
I'm responsible for that. I needed time to find a missing witness.
I spend a week trailing a killer, and you let him go loose?
I think you spent a week trailing an innocent man.
Innocent? Every cutthroat in prison claims he's innocent.
All right, you're wasting time. Harper couldn't have gone far. Let's go get him.
I've had enough out of you, Hollister. From now on, I'll handle this myself.
Well, what happened to you? A fella jumped me just outside of town. Took my horse and gun.
What'd he look like?
Tall, thin, no hat, and a wild look in his eyes.
That's Harper, all right. Which direction did he head?
South, toward the border.
All right, Harris, you got any more suggestions?
Clay,
I'm in quite a hole, Mr. Editor, and so are you.
Clay, I'm sorry about this, but I still don't think that Vince...
You didn't think he'd run out either.
You better go have a doctor look at that.
Mr. Claiborne?
Ed, something I can do for you?
I'd say it was the other way around. I'm Mrs. Andrews.
Mrs. Andrews?
Laura Coleman. Is something wrong?
No. It's just not every day I come back to my office and find the answer to a prayer.
I'd hardly say I was that. I read about Vince in the newspaper in Tucson. I just couldn't live with myself any longer, that's all.
Well, that doesn't concern us now.
I let a man go to prison because I was afraid for my own life.
Well, you're here now. That's what counts. Come on inside. Mrs. Andrews, Vince Harper claims that on the night of the murder, he gave you his gun.
That's right. He was drinking and unreasonable. When he left the Oriental, I followed him out and I made him give it to me.
Well, did he come back later and get it?
No.
Miss Andrews, what did happen to the gun?
Walt and Howie Dickerson took it from me. They said they'd give it back to him later.
Well, that's it. Now we've got something to go on. First thing we'll do is see the sheriff and tell him your story. And then we'll pay a little visit to the Dickersons.
Couldn't you do that without me?
Miss Andrews, Vince Harper has spent 5 years of his life in prison for a crime he didn't commit. I can understand your fear, but you should have come forward at the trial.
I was afraid to testify at the trial. The morning after the murder, I received a note with $100 in it. All it said was, "Leave town, or we'll kill you."
Well, nothing's going to happen to you now. But if we don't find Vince Harper, he may be a dead man. 2 guards from Yuma Prison are tracking him down right now, and if he resists, they'll kill him. Come with me.
One thing. Why did you finally come back to Tombstone after all this time? Conscience?
That had something to do with it, not all.
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'm married now. I have a home, a lovely daughter. All the things I never thought I could have. My husband doesn't know about my past. And for 5 years, I've been afraid that someone would recognize me and tell him. Now I want to tell him myself. But first, I have to help Vince. He's been in prison because of me.
Lee, have you seen the Dickersons?
An hour ago, they were in the Oriental.
Let's go to the Oriental.
Hello, Walt. Howie. Don't you remember me?
I thought you had more sense than to come back here.
You scared me out of town once. It won't happen again.
That's where you're wrong. Maybe we ought to take a little walk and talk this out. Don't you think so, Howie?
A fine idea.
Take your hands off the lady, Howie.
This ain't your business, Hollister.
I'm making it my business. You're both under arrest.
For what?
Murder of Frank Carney.
You're loco. Everybody knows Vince Harper killed him.
Everybody but Laura.
Whatever she told you is a lie.
Sure it is. Nobody believe a cheap dance hall girl.
Vince couldn't have done it, and you know it. You had his gun.
Well, I guess there's enough new evidence to reopen the case.
You're not locking me up, Hollister.
That's up to you, Howie.
Take him, Howie.
Hold it, Walt.
Well, there's one Dickerson won't be going to jail. Now we better find Vince before Kirby does.
I'll take care of things here.
Well, which way now?
I don't know, but it better be the right one. That Kirby's trigger happy. He wants a double pay.
Hope that's not what I think it is.
Hold your fire. Get out.
Stay out of this, Hollister. I don't want to lose him this time.
Harper is innocent. We've got proof.
Now look, I don't want any more interference. I'm going to take him the way he's asking. Dead.
You can't kill an innocent man. Give me a chance to talk to him.
That might be dangerous, Harris. You might think it's a trap.
Vince knows me and trusts me. He'll believe me.
You'll get a bullet for your trouble.
Harris! Vince! It's me, Harris. I want to talk to you. You won't need that gun anymore, Vince. Give it to me.
I'm not going back, Harris. I'd rather die here than at Yuma.
You don't have to go back, Vince. Laura Coleman showed up. She's identified the real killers.
Don't you come any closer, Harris.
Howie Dickerson is dead. The sheriff has Walt Dickerson in a cell right now.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
Have I ever lied to you, Vince? You'll just have to trust me. It's all right, Clay. I convinced him. June 24, 1885. After one of the shortest trials in Tombstone history, Walt Dickerson was on his way to Yuma Prison.
I got a different man, but at least I won't be going back empty-handed.
You got the right man.
Well, I'm not the type to say I told you so, but I did.
All right, Harris.
I'm kind of glad to be leaving Tombstone. You fellas run your town mighty peculiar.
Dickerson's going back to serve out Vince Harper's term?
Yuma Prison. I wonder if the one on Boot Hill isn't better off.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory.
Naco, Mexico, 30 miles south of Tombstone, Arizona Territory.
Where are the other faceless ones? Where is Santiago? Where is he hidden?
Comandante Nextor, ¿cómo está?
Señorita Marta Teresa. Where is the man you told me about? You call this the man? This is a boy.
What would you call me if I brought in Santiago? A boy or a man?
A miracle worker. A hero.
I can get him for you. If you want him badly enough to make it worth my while.
Badly enough. Only the simple fact of his body can convince these superstitious campesinos that he's truly dead. I can fight a man. I cannot fight a myth. Santiago. In person. Dead or alive. 20,000 pesos reward.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Tombstone territory.
The night of October 13, 1886. Los Sin Cara, the faceless ones, had reached Tombstone. The territory was to become the unwilling host to the desperate fighters for freedom, or bandits, depending on who you believed.
Wonder who they are.
I don't know yet.
Need any help?
No, just stand by.
Senor Clay Hollister? Sí. We are Los Sin Cara. Santiago, our leader, said you would know us by his ring.
They sure look done in. Bet they haven't had any food or water for a couple of days.
Santiago, the leader of the faceless ones. You know him, Clay?
Yeah, we were schoolmates. Looks like you came across the border to get away from Nexer. What do you want in Tombstone? We need provisions. Santiago said you were his friend, that you would let us go on. Others might turn us back to Nexer to collect the reward. I can't let you stay in the territory. We're hungry. We need food.
It's the emptiest wagon I ever looked into. Poor fellows just about sold their saddles.
Where'll you go? As far as we can. We won't stay in Tombstone territory. This I promise you. You understand that I've got to uphold the law. I can't let you through carrying your guns. It's the law of the trail. We don't turn a man loose without a gun to protect himself. I'm sorry. Bueno, Santiago would not go against you. Los rifles, muchachos. That it? All except for our knives. That's good enough for me. We're very grateful, Senor Hollister. Santiago. Where is he now? No matter where one is, one's friends are always close. Santiago is with you now. Muchas gracias, amigos. Adiós. Vamos, muchachos. Adiós. ¡Viva los templados! ¡Viva!
The morning of October 14, 1886, Charlie Petrie made a grim discovery.
Yeah, it's blood. I guess that wagon wasn't so empty after all.
False bottom?
Had to be. Guess Santiago was closer than I thought. They must have been carrying him in the wagon.
Yeah. Badly wounded, too.
Harris, this could be real trouble. If Santiago's as badly off as all that blood seems to indicate, they can't take him far. They'll have to hide him around here, in the territory.
Yeah, and if Nexer finds out, he'll raid in after him for sure.
I better get to Santiago first.
In the afternoon, the trail split, and the marks showed the Mexicans had divided their party. The three horsemen had cut off towards Mexico, undoubtedly in a try to slip across the border. But the wagon tracks continued. Clay Hollister knew they must have headed for the shelter of the Rocky Hills. It was a natural spot for an ambush.
Aguilar? Move, senor. Do not make me kill you. Follow a trail like a bloodhound. You're on the run with Santiago. He has stopped running. And so have I. Now that I know we must stop, I have decided to bring you to him. You trust me? Implicitly. Now the gun belt.
Clay Hollister had found his friend and former academy classmate, the guerrilla hero who, armed only with the dream of democracy and freedom, had fought the military despot, Comandante Nexer.
Santiago.
Would that we could march again at our academy, amigo. Tell me, did I wear my uniform well?
Your uniform's what you believe.
Thank you for what you have done.
I didn't do anything.
This, in itself, is an act of friendship.
Let me get you a doctor, Santiago.
No use.
Well, is there anything I can do?
There is. Can I ask an old friend a favor? My young brother, Juan, a boy. I was to take care of him. I gave him nothing. No legacy.
Your fight for your people's freedom's a legacy.
Find him, Clay. Only you can do it. bring him up to me before I die. To try to make him understand.
But I don't know where to look.
Aguilar knows.
No, Santiago, no. Must not let him know where you are.
What? Juanito?
Where is he? Listen to me, senor. The boy's dirt. He's a weakling. He's dangerous. Take the guns back. Look for him at the cantina in Naco.
It was a desperate race against time for a friend. And the prize was a few words to be exchanged between brothers before death claimed the stakes. October 15, 1886.
Oye, mozo. Give me a chance. Let me show you what love is for its own sake.
Leave me alone.
I want to dance with you.
There's no music.
You're my music.
And you're a foolish child. You are Senor Clay Hollister?
See?
You asked to see me? Drink?
No, no drink. Just talk.
Drink 5 centavos. Just talk 20.
I'm looking for a man named Juan.
My life is full of Juans.
Well, maybe this will help you concentrate on the one that I'm looking for.
Suddenly I like you. You may speak about yourself for nothing.
My only interest is Juan, whose brother is Santiago.
Los sin cara?
See?
You lied to me. You told me you were looking for a man. Wait.
I think I'm wasting my time.
What's your hurry?
Santiago's dying.
I'm sorry. I was just being cautious.
Cautious about what?
Well, I thought you might be one of Comandante Nexo's glorious tricks. Santiago's brother would be killed on sight.
Then you can reach him.
Give me a little time.
All right. There's a dry wash about a mile from here that forks over the border. I'll wait there until sunup.
Silence. It's golden.
$20,000.
I am an army all by myself, and you offer me that?
How many men do you want? 40? I'll give you 4.
I want none. I go in by myself. I bring him back by myself. Me, alone.
Alone? And if I say no?
Then, Comandante, you will never find him.
It angers me to hear a boy talk like a man.
I'll show you the kind of a man that I am.
All right, Martha, listen to your boy, a regular torero, a matador.
He offers to bring you the bull's ears, Comandante.
Does he know he has to get past the horns to get to them?
Are you interested in bullfighting or the capture of Santiago?
I want Santiago as the main attraction at the fiesta in the plaza.
Then I'll bring him to you at my price.
20,000 pesos, dead or alive, but in the plaza.
80,000 pesos. You offer me 20,000 in the use of 4 men. Going alone makes me 4 times as brave.
And you can perform as spectacularly as you boast, huh?
Try me.
Oh, adoro.
Done. Payment on delivery. hay, matador? Simple answer to a simple question. How do you expect to find and catch the famous Santiago?
He has sent for me. He is my brother.
October 16, 1886. Juan was on his way to meet Clay Hollister. Comandante Nexar also had a mission.
You promised Juan that you would not follow him. He gave you his word that he would bring in Santiago alone.
What good is the word of an animal that believes in nothing? If he betray his own brother, what can I expect from him?
Can he still expect the reward?
Of course, as long as he leads me to Santiago. Who's the man who came for him?
A man?
Exert yourself, senorita. Struggle to remember his name.
I will try.
Do so.
Juan, brother of Santiago? See. Prove it. Ah, those were the days. We had a ranch, many cattle. But these revolutionary ideas of Santiago, they took everything away. We better hurry. We had everything. We were genuine caballeros, aristocrats. Everybody has to make a choice, Juan. But what kind of a choice is that? To end up dying like a wounded beast in a strange land. Aguilar doesn't trust you. I can see why.
It was night when Clay fulfilled the promise to his old friend. And for Santiago, there would be no morning. This was the end of a hero, a lost and lonely man crying for his brother's understanding.
To think it had to end like this.
Aguilar.
Do not leave me, Santiago. Do not leave me.
Bury me in secret. And what we believe in will never leave you.
Listen to me.
No. You hear me, Juanito. It troubles me. The legacy I promised. No land. No cattle. Not even a thing to believe in. At least I could have left you that.
You call that a legacy? Look what it brought you.
But it is all I have. There is no other legacy.
There is more. There is.
Cobarde! Oh, let my brother talk.
Santiago, mi hermano, try to understand the logic. There is 80,000 pesos reward on your head, dead or alive. Santiago, you are dying. Let me take in your body. Your crazy dream is over. What difference will it make? Let the reward be my legacy.
Santiago!
He is dead.
He's dead.
You do this?
He is dead. What difference does it make?
You gotta understand this. Nexor mustn't find that body. If he does and he drags your brother through the streets, everything that Santiago lived and died for is dragged in the dust. But if he doesn't find that body, he can never prove that Santiago's dead.
I asked him. I begged him for the legacy.
You think getting permission changes what you did?
Juan, we're here. You are right, but you are too late.
You did betray him.
We know you're in there. Come out.
You want to die here, too? You want to take Santiago's orders?
Give up. Why should you die like this for nothing, too?
We still got a chance to save the body, if I can stall for time.
What is the matter with you, Juan?
Come here.
Come out!
Listen, get the blanket roll off the other horse. Go out the back way. Hurry. Wait. Let Juan see you.
Come out! All we want is Santiago.
Oh, you want your blood money. Your 80,000 pesos.
Sí, señor. Sí.
Let's see you work for it.
Easy, señor. Easy, señor. Please.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! You say, Comandante, I got Santiago for you.
Dead, I suppose.
You agree, dead or alive, what difference does it make?
That's right. What difference does it make? You're nothing but a traitor. Santiago was my enemy, but at least I respected him.
I am a patriot, Comandante.
A patriot believes in something. You believe in nothing but yourself and this.
Marta, my legacy. This is for you. This is what you wanted.
What good is it to you? The money won't keep you alive. Because of Clay Hollister, Losingata will know. It is very dangerous to be near a traitor who is marked for revenge. You're not a patriot. You're a dead dog.
Comandante, I am loyal. Believe me. How can I prove it to you?
By keeping your part of the bargain. Santiago's in there, we are here. You betrayed your brother. I want to make sure you do not trick me.
He is in there. Come, I will show you.
Comandante Nexor.
At your services, Sheriff Hollister.
What do you want?
I have business with this man. He's a countryman of mine. It is no affair of yours.
It is my affair if you're raiding across the border into Tombstone territory.
I'm going to take what's inside. It is valueless to you. It is priceless to me.
Well, what if I don't let you?
Then I'm afraid I'm going to have to run the risk of your body being found in this wilderness before I get back across the border.
Some choice.
Give me your guns.
All right. You have my word.
Inside.
You see, Comandante? I keep my word.
You tricked me.
No.
Traitor, you tricked me.
No! A mistake! They tricked me too!
Tell him I was loyal to.
Loyal to what?
Clay Hollister had succeeded in his mission. Where Aguilar buried Santiago, nobody knows. But there's a legend you can hear in the hills that Santiago still lives, that the man who brought to his faceless ones dreams of democracy and freedom gathers forces as he roams, getting ready to attack again. October 20, 1886. You sure took long enough coming back. What happened? You ready to give me a story?
Yeah, it's a small notice, I guess. You can say Clay Hollister just returned from a slightly prolonged weekend. He spent an enjoyable time with an old classmate and friend, and now makes his home in the mountains south of the border.
What really happened, Clay?
Did you ever read what this ring says, Harris? Let's add a line to that notice. You can say, Hollister was pleased to see that his friend still is true to the code of courage, honor, integrity.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Should be good enough for everybody.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory.
August 12, 1886. A narrow mountain pass between Fort Huachuca and Tombstone, Arizona Territory. Three grimly determined men struggled with two strange objects to a high point overlooking the pass.
Ain't even gonna have a chance to scatter.
Yeah, you act like you can't wait to use it.
Stand back. Stand back.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Tombstone territory.
Early morning, August 12. The men carefully conceal their Gatling gun, the most vicious weapon of the times. 10 revolving barrels to spout death and destruction, capable of wiping out a whole detachment of men.
All right. Cold camp, no fires, and stay under cover till I get back.
When'll that be?
I don't know. I'll get more cartridges for the gun and find out when the Army's going to pick up that payroll money.
I assure you that the Army will be traveling fast here.
They always use that road.
Yeah. I'll be back.
Toby, you know you might get into trouble riding around with that hot temper of yours. Maybe you ought to take me with you, huh?
Maybe you ought to get off my back, Quinch.
Sam Colby rode into Tombstone, intent on information concerning the Army payroll.
When he saw me entering the epitaph, he decided to seek other information.
Colby. Hello, Sam.
Hello, Clyburn. Been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, a long time. You haven't changed much, Sam, being out of things for 5 years.
Well, I counted them. Kansas State Prison, but I've learned my lesson. I'll never try robbing a bank again. Clyburn, what happened to Sarah Medford?
Well, you didn't come all this way to ask me that, did you,
I
Sam?
didn't even know you were in this town.
You can't do yourself or Tombstone any good. Why don't you move on, Sam?
Well, the last time you said those words to me, we were in Belle Plaine, Kansas. You were running another crummy newspaper there, and you said I was no good for the town, or for her.
I've got nothing against you, Sam. You've paid your price to society. If you need any money...
I don't want your money. I want to know where Sarah Medford is. You were her friend. She'd have written to you.
Forget her. You're not even sure if she's alive.
I've never been sure of anything in my life, except that someday I'm going to find her. Now, where is she?
I wouldn't tell you if I knew.
Now, baby, you... Maybe she's in Tombstone already. Is that it? Huh? All right, what's going on?
It's all right, Clay.
All right. What's your name? Colby. Sam Colby.
There are no charges, Clay. I'm not signing any complaint.
Oh, I suppose you two were just breaking up the place for exercise.
I'd consider it a favor if you wouldn't do anything about this, Clay. It's my problem.
You heard what the man said? It's his problem.
He said feed his horse, but don't take the saddle off.
Did he say where he came from?
No. Made a trip to the gun shop and back, then took off again.
A gun shop, huh? .45-70s.
What would he be doing with them?
Well, I don't know. The only thing they fit's the old single-shot carbine. Must have 300 rounds. Taking a long time to shoot those up one at a time.
You got enough deputies lined up. Stop any trouble. Stop worrying.
I'll stop worrying when the Army picks up that shipment of theirs.
Yeah. $50,000.
You just keep that badge of yours under your vest. I don't want anybody to know this town's planted.
Drown the memory of a bad breakfast. Who'd you say you were looking for, a man or woman?
Woman. I figure she may be in this town working as a seamstress.
What's her name?
Medford. Sarah Medford. She's real pretty. Dark black hair and beautiful brown eyes. When she talks, it's kind of like music.
They all sound like music, mister. A seamstress with black hair.
Yeah.
I know one. Yeah? Seems she is called Sarah.
Well, where is she?
You came a long way for nothing, maybe. This one's about to be married. Yeah, picked herself an Army fella down at the fort.
Where's she live?
I think it's a greenhouse at the end of 1st Street.
Yeah, thanks.
But I can't just leave. What would Paul think? Where would I go?
There's a night coach leaving for Bisbee. Paul isn't due back here for 3 days. You told me yourself he's on special duty at the fort all this week. I'm sticking in my 2 cents, Sarah, because I don't want to see you have to face this town if Sam Colby brings out the past. Don't stay here and pay for it twice.
All right, Harris.
You can stay with my sister Ann. Return here on Sunday. Colby should be gone by then.
Harris, how is he? How does he look?
What?
Oh, I'm not in love with him anymore. I don't have to prove that to you. Paul and I are going to start a new life together, and I wouldn't change that for anything in the world.
Hello, Sarah. Clyburn, you always lie to visitors when they come to town. Get out.
Leave her alone, Sam.
It's all right, Harris. It's all right.
All right, Sarah.
Well, you better have a drink on this. After 5 years, looks like I got here just in time.
Our time ran out a long time ago, Sam.
I heard you were about to get married. Well, that's no problem. No man ever gets anything without taking it from another.
That's what you thought when you asked me to marry you. That we'd start out on money you robbed from a bank.
Only one mistake and you run out on me.
Why did it have to be that one?
Why didn't you wait for me?
For you to get out of jail? And promise me again you'd take a job and stop being wild?
Oh, honey, you used to love me for being wild.
So we'll move on. And you'll start over once more. We'll find a new life somewhere further out west. Is that it?
We'll make it this time. They'll just leave us alone. Talk about luck. You come into town for one thing and you find another.
If you didn't know I was here, what are you doing in Tombstone?
For one fancy big payroll, that's all I need. And from then on, it's a straight and narrow for you and me. Well, think of it, $50,000. That'll buy you a lot of pearl button shoes from St. Louis. That'll give you a big red dress with 1,000,000 yards of lace on it.
Another robbery? Is that what you're offering me, Sam? Face it, you're no good. You're no good.
Colby said to keep it covered.
Why don't you stop telling me what Colby said? Yeah, they won't even know what hit him. Let's keep him, Colby.
You're getting real itchy, ain't you, Quince?
I don't trust him. How come he knew about that Army payroll being in Tombstone? Yet he didn't know when they were picking it up.
Well, how much information do you want him to have? It was lucky that when he broke into that stage office last week that he saw the manifest. If he hadn't, he wouldn't even have known that they were shipping the money. Where are you going?
Going into Tombstone, get myself a drink.
He ain't gonna like it.
I hope he tries to tell me that.
Late morning, August 12, 1886.
Hello, Harris.
Well, it seems to be going smoothly enough. You worry too much about these payroll transfers.
Maybe. What do you know about Colby over there?
Well, what do you mean? What do I know?
Paul! Well, Harris! It's all yours, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Clay.
My pleasure.
I'll just bill the Army for my 3 extra deputies.
Fair enough. He pared him out.
So you're the one drew the assignment this time. Didn't expect you in for another 3 days.
This is official business and a quick trip. Tell Sarah I'll see her Sunday, huh?
Be glad to.
What, leaving?
I'm afraid so, darling. There really wasn't time to come by. What's the matter?
Nothing. I just want you to hold me for a moment.
Something wrong?
No, I'm just glad to see you. Why are you in town anyway?
Quick assignment. $50,000 payroll for the fort. Now I've got to go. See you Sunday.
Wagon hold! Single escort, flank away!
50,000. Oh, wait, don't go! You can't go!
All right, Harris. What do you know about Colby?
Well, I knew him and Sarah back in Belle Plaine, Kansas.
Yeah?
Everybody thought they'd be married. Then Colby robbed a bank. Some thought she harbored him. He got caught and sent to prison. Anyway, she got a bad name.
Well, for a newspaper man, you're kind of close with your information.
Well, when I came to Tombstone, she followed me. Her folks were dead. She had no other family. Guess I was her only friend. Then she met Paul Crane.
Well, why all the secrecy?
Whatever mistake she made back in Belle Plaine lie buried. That's why I didn't want anything to come out in the open here.
I don't know.
Sam. I'll go away with you, Sam. I'll go away with you tonight. There's only one thing I'm asking. Don't rob that payroll.
You mean you want me even without money?
This time you don't have to do anything. No robberies.
You really do love him, don't you, Sarah? You'd do anything to save his life.
I'll never leave you, Sam. If only you'll do as I ask.
All right. Go home and pack. I'll pick you up tonight. Is everything all right?
Everything is just fine. Yes, sir, just fine.
Anything you want to tell me?
No.
Hey, Amos. Saddle up Mormon for me, will you?
You bet. Well, he's leaving town. That's good.
Yeah? With a saddlebag full of 45-70s?
Afternoon, August 12th. The payroll wagon under heavy guard left Tombstone on a roundabout road to Fort Huachuca. Quince rode hard to bypass the payroll wagon and set up the ambush with a deadly Gatling gun.
time you were getting back. Where's Colby?
He'll be here. If you don't, all the better.
After his conversation with Sarah Medford, there was a strange determination about Sam Colby's ride.
Detail, halt!
Deliberation marked each mile of Lieutenant Crane's journey. Scouts were sent in ahead through every ravine as a precaution.
Forward! Ho! How far off are they?
Oh, about a half a mile, maybe. Come on, let's get those clips.
Clay Hollister, puzzled by Colby's actions, trailed the ex-convict. His suspicions grew as he observed that Colby and another rider were paralleling the route taken by the military detachment.
All right, where are the cartridges, Colby?
The deal's off.
What?
The Army's not taking the money through this way. They took it to Fort Huachuca by stage. You can topple that thing into the canyon for all the good it's gonna do us. Sorry, boys. Looks like we just run out of luck. Maybe we'll get together on something sometime, huh?
Will we, Colby? Who are you trying to double-cross? I seen him pick up that money, Colby. I seen him! Colby, I was in Tombstone.
I wouldn't use it, Quince.
Oh, I'm gonna chop you up real good, Colby.
You shoot that gun, you won't have a chance. They're not so far away that they won't hear it.
He's right. Let him go. He won't get 100 yards. Here, let's get this gun around.
Clay suddenly came upon Colby, who had made it to the bottom of the pass with Quince's knife in his back.
Army payroll. Gatling gun up there. Tell Sarah I did.
There they come. Another 50 yards.
Take cover!
Who's shooting at him? Spreading out. Get around.
Somebody got money? Somebody we're after.
Gatling gun?
Army will be glad to get it back.
Bill, Jenkins, bring that gun down here. Never would have made it if you hadn't fired those warning shots.
First time I ever drew down on the U.S. Army. Gun shoots a little high.
How'd you know about that?
I didn't know about it. I followed a hunch. And a man.
It's a good thing you did. I'll check with you Sunday. I'm coming in to see Sarah.
She'll be glad to see you.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory.